Hi, welcome to my ag life. This is Taylor. I'm here with the guys over at Sub Irrigation.
I am Ayres.
And I'm Josiah Thomas.
And we're talking today about their subsurface irrigation product that they have here today. So this is really novel technology. It's new technology. It's a new way to get water under the surface. Tell me a little bit about how it works.
It's a delivery system. So you come off your main line and you want to use a GPH of say 2 or 4, limit that, goes into the fitting. It's just a pressure fit. And that's what delivers the nutrients and the water to the root zone.
Perfect. We've got a little bit of a demonstration here.
Basically, with the emitter, so what we're doing is we're taking a 1/2-inch socket, ran on an impact or a drill. It goes right into the socket there. We're able to run it down into the soil. And so usually what we like to do is if it's fresh ground, it's been ripped, we just pull the berm, we'll drill it right in. It is plastic, so if it's hard ground, it's compacted, then we want to run a decent irrigation set beforehand to ensure that it gets into the soil without hitting anything or running into any hard surfaces. So from there, once it's in the soil, we can hook it up to the fitting, as Jay had just told you about, which is ran off of the spaghetti hose.
I want to talk about some of the benefits a little more. Some of the ones that stood out to me, it's more precise, helps with weeds even. Tell me about some of those benefits.
Weed suppression has been a big deal. It's helped considerably. There's been a grove that we know of that they did a pre-merchant on it the first of the year, and they only had a spot spray like one time throughout the year.
So with that, with the traditional system, with the grower standard of either double line drip or single line drip, you've got a band of irrigation that's at the surface. So that water's banded down the entire row. And with this, we're targeting the specific root zone, which puts that water just there at the vine or the tree. And therefore we only need to spray around that wet spot. So it limits the amount of herbicide that we need to put out on the blocks.
That's fantastic. And you say it can go in vineyards and orchards. Is there a crop that it works best with specifically, or does it go good in anywhere that a subsurface system would go?
We can use it on most permanent crops. We are developing something new for almonds, and that'll be out soon. We're doing some R&D with that currently, just to avoid the spaghetti hose. We want to avoid that so it doesn't get stuck in the sweepers when the almond guys are going through. But currently we're using it on a lot of citrus, as well as we're putting it on vines and pistachios. Currently, I think there's a place for it for stone fruit as well. So there will be many more crops to come here in the near future. But yeah, it works on pretty much any permanent crop.
Yeah, you just pulled out a kind of another design of the emitter here. What's the difference between the two?
We haven't got this one totally developed yet, but this is the main line that runs across the berms. And we have a pressure compensator that snaps directly into the line. And you would drive this in the soil, and this would lock right in place and hold the hose directly over in the middle of the berm. We're thinking this is the almond orchards are looking at this as a faster way to install and keep their lines down the middle of the furrows.
That's so cool. And it's barbed, so it can't really come out as easily.
You're right. Correct. It'll hold in the ground pretty good. And if it's running, you can't get them out. You can wiggle them and take them out. People panic that they're not going to be able to get them out. It's not that bad to get it out.
Sure.
And they're pretty easy to install too, especially fresh ground.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. I wanted to talk about one other benefit of this system that stood out to me is its ability to prevent calcium bicarb buildup and scaling. Obviously a problem with most irrigation systems. It reduces efficiency. How does something like that, its ability to prevent this, really benefit the grower long term?
Yeah, with the traditional setups that we're currently running, we do get a lot of calcium bicarbonate scaling issues that plug up the emitters. And what we've seen with this is since there's a very little oxygen that's exposed to the water, so we don't have that conversion taking place. So we have minimal issues with that. We haven't seen that happen at all yet. So if we can avoid that, we can cut down on the labor of going through and trying to fix those issues in the field. So you always want to make sure that you're maintaining your lines. Even with this system, you want to do everything that you would with your line cleaning. But we've seen a reduction in those occurrences. So I think that there's a benefit in reducing the upkeep cost on the system itself.
Yeah. And really anything that can improve labor efficiency is just going to be a net benefit to the grower. So I like that. Anything else to add before we finish out here?
Root intrusion. The reason it's this color is we have added a anti-root intrusion copper-based material to our material to prevent the roots wanting to penetrate or go into the unit.
What's the significance of it being copper-based?
So that's when the roots touch the copper, they will die back. It causes root pruning. And so it's not harmful to the tree or anything like that. It just eliminates it from growing into the unit itself. And from there, there's one other thing I'd like to touch on. It works great in the valley floor on flat ground, but we've seen amazing results up in the hills where we've got hilly ground. And usually when you're trying to establish a new vineyard or a new orchard, a lot of the times you see the canopy uniformity is just not there, right? So you get some trees that start to take off, but they just aren't as strong as the others. And that's a lot of the time that's due to the water running downhill, the nutrients that are being injected into the system running downhill as well.
Sure.
With this, we're putting it straight into the soil. It's keeping it there. And so those trees are really just taking off. So canopy uniformity on hilly ground has been really impressive. Same with valley floor as well.